Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Chandler, and this channel is going to be dedicated to all you Isuzu Trooper owners out there. Now, if you're like me, I ended up getting a Trooper, and I started looking around for parts, and there's really nothing available for this car. You've got a few dealers here and there that offer stuff for it that's like seriously overpriced. This video here is going to be how to do a 7-inch round headlight mod to your existing square headlight grille. Alright, so let's get started. So I've already taken all the screws out here. So what you're going to do is just remove your grill here once you have all the screws out. And then you're going to want to come over to the side here and unscrew your blinker light here till you get it out. And I think this is your daytime running, well, not your daytime running lights, but your side marker lights. Alright, and you're going to want to do that on both sides. And once you get that off, you're going to want to just remove your grill, put it to the side. Now I've already done this mod, but I'm just going to go over exactly what I did so you can do it yourself. So if you come over here and take a look. Alright guys, so what you're going to want to do is once you remove this, your square headlights are still going to be on. You're going to want to remove everything that's on here. You're going to want to remove the headlights, the headlight buckets, and you're going to want to remove the springs on there also. Now if you look behind here, you'll see a round circle that's on this side. You're going to want to remove everything until you get to this part here. So all you see is that round circle right on the front here. Once you do that, okay, you're going to want to grab your brackets. Now when you grab the bracket, your headlight's not going to be mounted to it because these rings here are what holds on this headlight to this bracket. Alright, take this bracket right here. You're going to want to bring it right up to this part here. And you're going to want to mark it because you're going to want to drill holes in it. Alright, you're going to want to drill it with a 1/4 inch bit. You're going to just, with a paint marker or a regular marker, just mark where these holes are. There's 4 holes. I only use 3. You can use 4, but I've been rolling with 3 and I've had no problem with it at all. Once you mark those 3 points here, okay, drill your holes. You're going to want to take your bolts. Now these are 1/4 inch bolts that I got from Lowe's or Home Depot, one of those two. You're going to want to get 3 of these, and I think these are 3.5 inches long, and you're going to want to also get 3 nuts for every bolt that you have. Alright, so you're going to want a total of 9. Now once you get that, what you want to do is you're going to want to put your bolts through the holes that you've marked. You're going to want to sandwich them in between, like this here. This is what's going to hold your bracket to the bolts. Put some Loctite on it, alright, so they don't come loose. Now once you do that, you're going to want to mount the bracket right onto the front here. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to sandwich this bolt, okay, with these 2 nuts. Put Loctite on them. So once you get that on there, alright, you're going to get to the point here where you've got your headlight bracket already mounted. Now, you're going to want to get it flush. You don't want it to stick out too far or else you're not going to be able to put in your grill. Now, this also leaves room for adjustment. So you can adjust it left or right. You can adjust it up or down. And then also these headlight brackets also have adjusting points on them also. So if you see here, there's 3. 1, 2, and a 3rd one here. And you can move it, I'll move it around here so you can see. Once you've got it in, you're going to have your harness. Now, if you come over on this side here, this is the harness here. Alright. Now what you're going to want to do, you're going to need to cut off the end if you're not going to get an adapter for it. I didn't get the adapter for it. I just took my old bulbs off of the square headlights. I cut off the harness, and I cut off the harness on this end. Before you do that, make sure that you know which one your middle is, which one your right one is, and which one your left one is. And you're going to want to splice those two together. Splice both harnesses together. So you're going to take this one here, and then you're going to take your connector, and you're going to splice it in. And then you'll be able to just plug right in to your stock Isuzu plug, headlight plug. And then you're also going to get you're going to get a yellow wire coming off that harness, and you're going to get a red wire coming off that harness. All right. The yellow wire is going to be for your blinker. That's going to be spliced into this right here. Okay. So if you take a look here, I spliced right into the blinker wire. All right. And then you have another wire, which is your red wire. Now that red wire is for your halo. That's just going to go into any of the accessory wires. I tapped right into the fuse box. That's right here inside of the Trooper. All right. So that's how I did mine. So it's always on. I turn on the ignition. That light comes on automatically. All right. So once you're done with that, all right, what you're going to see is this here. All right. You've got both of your headlights already mounted, pretty much ready to go. All right. So now the next step that you're going to do is to mount your PVC pieces, but before mounting them, of course, you're going to want to cut off the holes. All right, so that's the next part. Let's get to that part. All right, guys, so like I said before, I already did this mod, so I'm just going to show you how I did it. Now, if you look here, this is a flat piece of PVC. I've linked the headlights and the PVC pieces in the description. So what I did is I ended up taking, because you can remove the piece that holds in your headlights, take that off and trace it out on your flat PVC pieces like you see here. Now if you look on the back, okay, these are mounted with just epoxy. So I epoxied them all the way around. You're going to have ridges like you see here, this ridge, you're going to have them here, here, and here, and same at the bottom. I took those pieces off. I just basically you can just break them right off, you know, because you want to do that in order for this to sit flush. Now the best way to do this is when you cut this hole here, you're going to mount that hole right on the front here. All right, you're going to make sure when you first cut that hole, it's probably not going to fit right over. So what I did is I took some 80 grit sandpaper and I just kept sanding around until I got that PVC hole to fit right around this part here. All right. Once you do that and you're able to get it over, you're going to want to put it on, take your grill, bring your grill over, and set your grill right in front of it. Get it as close as possible as if you're going to mount it. When you do that, you're going to want to mark on the inside where that is, because you're going to want to cut this PVC piece is going to be big, so you're going to want to cut all the way around, so when you're done cutting, you're able to fit it inside of this piece here, you know, and that's going to take a little time. That's probably the hardest part of this whole mod, is doing that. But if you just take your time with it and just keep, you know, bringing it back to the headlights, bringing the grill over, seeing how much you got to cut, position it in there. Once you've got everything positioned in there, you're going to want to mark it. What I ended up doing is just mark it in the insides here, like right around here, 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 and here. Then, once I had that, I was able to take it back, position it properly, and then glue it right in. And that, you know, worked out perfectly. You're going to want to obviously go back and check it a few times to make sure that you've got it right. And when you epoxy it, you can actually, once it starts getting a little tacky, what I would do is bring it back to the headlights and do them one at a time and actually push the grill in and screw it in so the trim pieces of the lights are in here, and it's actually holding it now in position exactly where it needs to be. And that's why it's important to do it one at a time. So if you try to do them both, it's going to be a nightmare. All right, so you've got that part there. Once you get this in here, now you're ready to put it back together. All right, so we've got our headlights mounted. We've got our PVC pieces that are mounted here. So what we're going to want to do next is just go back and install everything. You're going to do everything in reverse. All right. So you're going to want to put in your blinkers, and they just kind of go in and turn to lock. And your marker lights. Alright, this one is, okay, there we go. So, go over to the next side here and do the same thing. Twist them in. So they're going to lock. And twist twist in this bottom one here. Let's get this. Here. Alright, so we've got everything in there. Line everything up. Make sure your wires are in. And get this side going. And there's tabs here that go inside to kind of hold the sides in. Alright, so I'm going to start putting on the screws here. I've got kind of a mix match bunch of screws. I need to just get some new screws to hold all this in, but it works for now. So guys, once you're done, this is what your headlight mod should look like. So if you take a look, looks pretty good. I really like the way that it came out. Everything is flush, looks clean, and let me just turn on the lights so you can see what it looks like. So that's what the angel eye's on. So once you turn on your car, that's what it's going to look like there if you've got it wired the same way I do. Let's take a look at the blinkers. So you've got your left blinker there, right blinker. These are your headlights on. It's going to be kind of hard to tell because it's pretty sunny out, but those are your headlights on. Alright, and these are your high beams. Again, I don't know how clear that is in the picture, but that's everything with your lights on. Now, if I can give you some advice, take your time on what you're doing, all right? Because you're going to really have to get in there and sometimes sand a lot just to get those round pieces to really sit in there flush, all right? And another recommendation is when I cut these PVC pieces, I didn't really use anything special. I used the jigsaw and just went slowly and cut all around it. Sand down the rough parts, obviously. And I plan to rhino line this entire car again. Once I do that, I'll rhino line that those flat PVC pieces as well. I mean, there is like a rough finish to them, but I want to make sure it matches everything. And you can use any 7-inch round headlights. I would stick with like Jeep headlights, but there's a ton of options out there that you can use. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe and give a thumbs up. All right? And I'll see you next time with a new mod.